Seeing none, we will move into our regular study session for the night. Attorney Nolan, are there any public participation?
There were no requests for tonight.
Thank you, sir. High school academic support for students?
Yes, Dr. Saharsky is going to present on the high school academic support this evening.
Glorious evening. I'm going to share some of the aspects of the things that we're doing with the high school programming. And we have 3 different areas that we do. So we have all those things that go on through the regular scheduled day. Then we have those things that are like before school, after school, and summer. And then we also have some non-traditional kind of opportunities for students which are in the district. So looking at the regular scheduled day, we have all kinds of interventions, especially during this time, trying to help the students navigate all the curriculum as we continue forward. We have inclusion. That's where students that have students with learning disabilities are in a general education classroom with support so they get access to the curriculum. We have AVID, which is a great opportunity for those students. For the majority, they are first generation students looking to go to college. We provide them supports throughout high schools so that they have a greater opportunity as they go on to college. We have response to intervention for both academics and behavior. We have ACT prep. As you know, the country continues to use ACT, and it's a requirement in Tennessee for one of the accountability pieces that we're held to, and digital citizenship to make sure our students are doing what they need to do with their computers and technology. During the day, students have the opportunity to participate in credit recovery and grade recovery, and so this is the opportunity for students who have failed credits, not just here, but there's a lot of students that are mobile. As you know, we have about a 30% mobility rate within the student population. Students arrive here with partially completed things and needing to catch up with credits that they've missed. So they have the opportunity to participate during the regular day in credit recovery opportunities. And then we offer grade recovery. Grade recovery is an interesting opportunity. Often when students fail the first 9 weeks of school and they have done the math calculations, they don't feel inspired in the next 9 weeks to do well. And become disengaged. What grade recovery does is it provides them an opportunity to work on those standards that they struggled with in the first 9 weeks while continuing in the second 9 weeks. If they pass the second 9 weeks, they can go ahead and get a passing grade for the first 9 weeks. And on the new grading scale, that would be a 60, which is a D. But that keeps them engaged with the learning, the forward momentum toward it, and it's referred to as grade recovery, differing from credit recovery, which is the recovery of a half credit or a whole credit in a content area. And just to give an idea, people often ask us about the number of students that are participating. They may be, excuse me, a half credit to a whole credit or several credits, but in 21-22, 2,396 students participated in credit recovery opportunities, whether in the school day or in after school summer, that kind of thing, and 94% of them recovered the credit that they were working on. We have additional supports that we keep in the schools. We have obviously school counselors. We have the military family life counselors that come in. Social emotional learning supports are being provided. We have Centerstone counselors, the mental health co-op, youth villages partnerships, students with disabilities transition to work programs to help them make that transition more easily with better expectations. And then student to student is a program that we have in the high schools that helps students that are arriving here get acclimated to the new environment when they arrive. before, after, and summer school. We provide as many opportunities for children to get access to the learning environment as we possibly can. So in the after school and before school program, we have the Army in Your Neighborhood, Army Youth in Your Neighborhood programs. It's a grant that we compete for, that we serve children, and it provides all the academic as well as high interest, engaging career and college opportunities that the students enjoy. Those programs are in the middle school and the high school settings. We have ESSER, as you know, we have ESSER 2 and 3 still in play, and we use that funding as well to provide those additional supports. We have opportunities within that for the high dosage tutoring that you often hear about, and this is where smaller groups of students could get individualized kinds of supports to access their academics. We run credit recovery before school, during school, after school, and in the summer. We offer grade recovery that would run in the 3rd and 4th 9 weeks, but you can access it before or after or during the day. The opportunity exists. And then we have some academic things that are going on, like tutoring. That's where I've hit a standard or piece that I just need help with a little something. So I'm able to sign up for that. Homework assistant is very popular because the homework students have today, many parents aren't able to assist with. And so this gives them the opportunity to do it before they go home with the people that have the skill set. Advanced placement supports, open libraries, which are very popular, the ACT prep, high dosage tutoring kind of activities. And then we have non-academic. So robotics is very popular in our schools, Cyber Patriot, Academic Bowl, Science Olympiad. The JROTC has extensive extended day activities from Ranger to Rifle Squad. We have fitness programs across the district, clubs that are aligned to the students' interests, and art, music, and theater opportunities. And just as a little note on the bottom, I put so you can see what the average attendance was last year in the middle school or the high school program. We ran between 2,200 and 2,300 with approximately 860 of those students identified as military connected each and every day. And these are students that are actually signing in. We have an attendance portal. So obviously there are students who skip the attendance portal, but these are the numbers that we can validate. In the summer of 21-22, we ran extensive summer programs like we do. We had some virtual programs, credit recovery, academic, and we also did transition from middle school to high school, which improves the success when you're at the high school. You're not as disengaged at the beginning of school. We've already connected you, so we ran some of those. And we served 1,214 9th through 12th grade in the credit recovery, and we had 1,065 students in the high schools return to being on track with their peers. Non-traditional supports, we have an adult high school program, and that program is for anybody ages 17 and above that would like to finish their high school diploma in Montgomery County. And there are different kinds of rules that run the adult high school, and for a lot of people the big piece is that they're in the workforce and they needed to return to get a high school diploma to move forward or to get pay raises, etc. So it's a great opportunity. And for students that move into the area that were in adult high school programs in other areas, they can come in and be in this one. Our graduation rate for 21 was 92.9, and for this year it's 92.4, I believe. It's very similar. We have the early technical college at TCAT, and so we have quite a few programs that are there, and they're all aligned to the interest and to career fields that are very growing and moving in the Montgomery County, Middle Tennessee community area. The kids work on high school and college curriculum. It is a program designed for 11th and 12th grade, just like the middle college is. And ours is actually the home of one of Tennessee's innovative high school model grants, which helps us expand opportunities. Questions? Yes, sir.
Mr. Patterson?
On the ACT prep, what is the earliest that the students can practice and the cost of it?
The cost of it is free for them to participate. To the district, we buy some of the accesses, so like if they're using the e-prep program, which is an online program that adapts and allows them to practice, then there's a cost per student that can be anywhere from $10 to $25 a student, depending on the program. We do practice tests with 9th and 10th grade to give them an idea of what they're getting ready to do in the 11th. They will take a test in the early part of the 11th grade as well to give them the practice opportunity. And there's a lot of resources that are provided that allows them to practice for the ACT as well. And in Tennessee, the ACT is free when you take it on the state assessment day, and Tennessee also offers additional free opportunities for the students, which they call the senior retake. They do that in the fall of their senior year as well.
So they can only practice twice, take the test on practice, what I call practice, and prepare for the real ACT test. They can only take it twice.
They do 2 practice tests, but they get to practice as much. There are actually classes where they practice all the time. So there's practicing, you're in working with those kinds of skills on those portals, and with those teachers. So you're practicing the skills all the time, but the actual practice test you would take, we do a national, or not a national, a district-wide one. We do those twice, and then we get that feedback and provide them. ACT itself doesn't actually provide practice tests. They have, they no longer do the Explore and Plan. Remember back in the day they did Explore in the 8th grade, and then they did the Plan in the 10th grade, and then they did the ACT in the 11th. ACT no longer does that. They have something called the Aspire that you can take once a year as you move up, and then there's practice materials that go with that. But the students have the opportunity to practice for the ACT all along. They get to practice those skills.
And what is the minimum then to pass on the test?
It's different by each, so there is what they call a level for each of them. And off the top of my head, I have forgotten them, but Shanda's here. Shanda, math is?
Overall, our goal is for our kids to get a composite of a 21, and that makes them a ready grad for the state of Tennessee. That's our goal for every high school graduate.
In case you missed, the composites, what the students are held to be identified as ready grads. That benchmark there is 21. And then each of the categories has a benchmark to say that you are college and career ready in that content. Remember, the object of the ACT is if I meet the benchmark that's identified, then in an associated course in college, like if I do the English ACT and I meet the benchmark in college, I should get a B in that class. That's what the overall significance of the composite, or the benchmarks. The composite, though, for Tennessee that identifies the student as college and career ready is 21. The national average for an ACT is 19.
So if you wanted it individually, the benchmark for English would be 18, reading is a 22, math is a 22, and science is a 23.
Okay, thank you. I'm not planning on taking it.
Anyone else? Yes, Space.
And the type of support you are offering is just so impressive, it's just massive. How do you think that you will maintain such
That is a great question. One of the most difficult things that education systems are facing right now is getting people to fill positions. I know I keep doing that. To fill positions. And, you know, teachers work their heart out from the moment they arrive till they leave. And then when you ask for additional, they're exhausted, they're tired. So we are very blessed that we have a large cadre of teachers who remain. But we've tried to be very creative in the opportunities. So there is virtual, there are lab hours where teachers sign up to take on groups of students at different times. Offering the programs before school, during school, and after school also provides greater access to the students to these opportunities, as well as teachers providing greater time. So they have, I think they call them skinny periods and stuff like that throughout the day where students have those opportunities. So we've been blessed there. We have been truly blessed.
I saw that you maintained over 90%, over 90% of all during that area. And it's just such, all these programs are so impressive. How long have you been offering the military that extra credit?
The APEN grant, 2010. 2010, yeah. So that would be 12, 22. We're one of the first school districts in the nation to have APEN grants. We also had an elementary one, but the Department of Defense quit funding it. The APEN funding comes from the Department of Defense budget because it is supporting military children.
I know that Fort Campbell, that it's requested assignments here so much because of the programs that we offer, the compassionate programs for the, but this is just another perk there, isn't it?
It is, and one of the difficulties when you're around a military installation is when the students moving out, in and out, you have to be very creative about keeping them on track. And so we have to be open. The graduation requirements are not the same across the country. Tennessee has one of the more stringent ones, especially in the realm of like math. We very specifically require Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2 in the fourth year of math. Most states have 2 maths, and one of them can be pre-algebra, which would not count here. So you get to be a senior and you arrive in Tennessee to discover, oh my gosh, I gotta go back and do geometry, algebra 2, and some other math, and you are a senior. And so being creative and just trying to think outside of the box and be innovative to support these students as they come in. And the military is not the only mobile population. We have a lot of mobile populations here, and they all will come in with these different kinds of needs.
What makes you proud of our system? Thank you for such a.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else?
So there's data here, I was just curious about this. So I assumed that the pandemic made the numbers basically double there. Is that from the onset of the pandemic, or is that we now have more options for them to do it? Like, that's a double number, so I'm curious about that.
So one is that we have more options, more opportunities to do it, and the importance of doing it sooner has become more relevant. We've also had a lot of children that have come into the area. Remember, the school district's growing. I'm not sure if I'm going to say 600 to 1,000, 700 to 1,000 every year. And so when you think about numbers like that, it would be that your programs would grow. We also, in some of the early numbers, we still had a very traditional summer school. And for a lot of students, the new format's a lot more attractive, more opportunities to do more things. Where in the traditional school summer school, they did usually 2 classes.
Okay. One other question, after school tutoring, what's that look like on a school level?
Different schools have different processes. So a typical school would have, I'm a math teacher, and I'm working on this skill during this time. If you're interested in having after-school tutoring, I have a sign-up thing. I will be doing it Tuesday and Thursday from 2:30 to 3:30. Put your name, I'll make sure I'm there. If they're gonna have a large group, we make sure we have additional tutors. So we have college students that come and support the program so that teachers can get to more. Some of them do it in a library where they put all the students are in the cafeteria, my fault. They put the students in a cafeteria and they have the content teachers weaving in and out of the room, helping the kids that have, I'm struggling with this part of the homework, or I'm struggling with this skill kind of thing. Also kids who've been absent that miss some work and they are coming back and they want to be able to work. So there's different models for the tutoring. Sometimes parents simply request that they would like their child to be worked with on these skills because they missed it and they just feel they're struggling.
All right, thank you.
Say the word. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Next item is 2024-2025 school year calendar, third year out, first read.
Yes, Dr. Imperatrice is going to be sharing today the committee that he was with that worked on the teacher calendar for the 24-25 school year.
And just so you have some context, the committee is made up of representatives from every department, plus an assistant principal, and both PET and CMCSS. So if you look in your packet, there's a calendar structuring procedures, and then there's the recommended draft calendar for 2024-25. So first, we look at the number of student days. There needs to be 180 student days. Now we are allowed, because we go a half hour longer, instead of 6.5 hours, we go 7 hours. That builds us 13 stockpile days. That can be used essentially for professional development, and it can be used for weather-related issues. So we take 8 of those days for professional development, and then we put 5 in the inclement weather plan, which I'll talk about next. So if you look at the calendar, the green numbers each semester represent the student days. So you have 87 in the first semester. You have 93 in the second semester for a total of 180. Then we look at teacher days. There are 200 teacher days in the calendar. That consists of the student days, the 180 student days, plus 4 holidays. You'll see those in red. That's November 28th, Thanksgiving, Christmas, December 25th, New Year's, January 1st, and Good Friday, April 18th. Then you have 10 vacation days, which you'll see indicated by the purple boxes. Most of those are around the Christmas holiday, but they are scattered throughout the year. Then you've got 2 scheduled in-service days, which are the 5th and the 6th. Those do count as teacher days. The state allows us to do 2 days prior to the start of the school year to do in-service. And then the 3 professional growth days are during spring break. You'll see those in March. Those are indicated by the gray boxes. Teachers get those days based on their professional development hours. So they accumulate 18 hours, which gives them those 3 days. Okay? And then the committee has agreed on a criteria. First and foremost, the most important piece is that TCAP needs to be considered, all testing considered for spring break to allow for appropriate review and teaching before the test. This has changed quite a bit over the last 3 or 4 years. You notice in the past we would move our spring break to March to later in April and kind of back and forth year in and year out. But because the testing window has expanded, we really don't have many options. So you'll see it in the second week of March in order to meet that criteria. We want to end high school exams before winter break, which we do. We want to equalize the days in the semester as much as possible. And you'll see that we have 87 school days in the first semester, 93 in the second semester, but there's a lot of testing in the second semester. So that's why we usually have more. maintain a fall break that begins at the end of the first 9 weeks. And then the parent conferences, teachers get compensated by them by the green box. That's the day before Thanksgiving, the 27th. 27th is the teacher day. So the hours that they spend in parent-teacher conferences, they get rewarded with that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Then election days are considered in this calendar. August 6th is an election day. It's during our in-service, so we're protected from not having students in the building. And then report cards will be issued and made available on the 5th school day after the 9 weeks. Any questions about the proposed 24-25 calendar?
Would you speak to the snow days? I know when we first went into the pandemic modifications, that we thought that we would no longer have to make up snow days, but that was changed by law, wasn't it?
It was. So this particular use of stockpile days gives us 5 snow days. And I'll talk about that in the inclement weather, but it does provide for us 5 snow days.
But we will be prevented from making up any of this if it goes past those 5.
The state legislature last year provided options for 2 days each semester to go virtual. So that gives us some added opportunities if we should need them.
Thank you.
But that was not the case the year prior. So you're right. That just got passed into law last year.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Dr. Harris. Inclement weather makeup plan, who will first read? Dr.
Yes, and Dr. Imperatrice is actually going to go over that for the 23-24 school year as well.
Okay, so I indicated that 8 days of the stockpile days are used for professional development, and the other 5 days go into this inclement weather plan. So if we were to use 5 days or less, then teachers and students would not need to make up days. Provided we use more than 5 days, the 6-day miss and subsequent days would be made up time permitting. The first option will be in January 3rd, which is a staff development day. The second option is February 7th, the staff development day. The third option is February 19th, President's Day. And then if we've exhausted those opportunities or the snow came later than those days, we would do 30 minutes added to 13 days, not to infringe upon the state testing window to account for one makeup. Again, a day is 6.5 hours, so that's how we come up with those options. Any questions?
Question or comments?
I just had a question about, I thought during the era when they chose to go to school, we had one terrible winter, we missed so many days, and they chose to go to school on Saturdays, which was a waste of time. That, they would let us use virtual school instead of Saturday classes, wouldn't they?
Yeah, since I've been here, I can only speak to that for 15 years, we've never done Saturday.
This was probably back in the 80s,
Okay.
or 90s, I'm not sure, it was just a horrible winter.
This is the recommended plan that the board needs to approve, so, if that's something you wanted to consider, we could, but we haven't done that in a while. This pretty much meets the criteria and the expectations we have for a number of years, but again, if you have feedback, that's what this does.
Again, thank you, Dr. Paris. We do not have any other county commissioners with us tonight. They have a meeting tonight, therefore we're going to, do we have anybody on the board have any comments at this time? Seeing that, Dr. Williams?
Yes, good evening, board members. Today was the first day back from holiday break for faculty and staff members. The majority of educators today had professional development based upon subject content and/or grade levels. And most of tomorrow will be spent working at their own schools and in their classrooms to prepare for students returning on Thursday. Just a reminder that our application period for our schools and programs of choice will begin on Monday, January 16th. We want to ensure that our families know all of the free opportunities for our students, such as the Spanish immersion, middle college, K-12 virtual, early technical college, more magnet, as well as 10 different high school academies that will be available. There will also be some open enrollment options based upon teacher and building capacity that will be shared. We have sent the information to families about our opportunities, and they will have a month to complete the application process, which will end on February 16th. Finally, we are just excited to welcome students back this week as we start the second semester, and I would like to wish everyone a Happy New Year and looking forward to a strong second semester for CMCSS. Mr. Garland, this concludes my report for the evening.
Thank you very much. This session is over.